If you ever want to get into tech sales or you're looking for your next job working in tech sales, in this video, I will share with you 4 simple steps if you follow, you'll be able to land a job in tech sales within 30 days or less. Why should you listen to me? Well, for the last 7 years, I've been working in tech sales for companies like Clio, working as an AE and a senior AE, Function Point, and as a senior BDR. And through this video, I will share with you condense my 7 years of experience, all combined into one, to show you exactly how it is and use a technique that got me my last job within 24 days. Let's jump into it. Okay, so as you're watching this video, one thing I want to share with you is that you can download a free workbook in the description below. It'd be great because it goes in more detail on how to work through all these steps and with more templates and scripts and cadences and workflows to be able to get successful. So the first step in order to land a job in tech sales in 30 days or less is finding sales jobs opportunities. So basically, there's 2 types of job markets. There's an active job market and the hidden job market. So the active job market is basically jobs that are posted on public job posts, job boards, or LinkedIn. And typically, they represent about 20% of the job market. The hidden job market is where it's for referrals, networking, and direct contact, just contacting a company. And that represents about 80% of the job market. Now, typically, the active job market is very, very competitive, and the hidden job market is not competitive. Now, I want to share with you a strategy where you can combine the two together to get rapid success and get a job offer within 30 days or less. The key thing is this, though, when it comes to this strategy I'm sharing with you, we do not apply for jobs online. I repeat again, no applying for jobs online. I'll go deeper in that. Why? Because typically, I did some research. On average, each job posting online receives about 250 applicants. So your chances of getting an interview, not the job, just an interview, is about 1 or 2%. We don't like these odds. We don't like these odds at all. So the strategy we're going to share with you is that we're going to find the job postings, but then we're going to contact the hiring manager directly. That's the strategy we're going to use. So basically, and the strategy we're going to do now is we're going to find the jobs. So where do you find the jobs, right? So basically, the number one place to find jobs, tech sales jobs, no matter where you are, whether you're in Canada, USA, Germany, France, Australia, I don't know where you're watching this video, is to start with LinkedIn jobs. So if you want to get into tech sales, typically there's 2 kind of lanes you can go. If you have no experience at all in selling or in tech sales, typically you want to go for a BDR or an SDR role. If you have more experience, maybe you want to go for another BDR role, or maybe you want to get to an AE role. Either way, here's your way to go on LinkedIn jobs. You come in here, and for example, say I want to get a BDR role. BDR role is a role where you're reaching outward, making cold calls, and trying to generate new business opportunities for the company. Type in BDR, and then type in the country where you live. I live in Canada, so automatically it puts Canada there. But you can put in USA, Germany, Austria, whatever it may be. So we see here within Canada, BDR roles currently, there are 249 results. So you can kind of come in here and filter it down by different situations. I want to hit filter all. I can come in the last of all time, the last past week. What I'm going to come in here is part-time, full-time, hybrid, remote, whatever your choice is. You can go even deeper. I live in Toronto. I can go Toronto if I want. But the key thing is industry. Since we're looking for tech jobs, I want to go SaaS, software. And it's 86. Show me that. And then we have lots of companies here. Now, see the company I work for, Clio, they're hiring for BDRs, right? So basically, you're going to come in here, and that's all you want to know is basically, you can come in here and click on the job and learn more about the job if you want to, right? That's up to you. Sometimes they might even have the person who's hiring for the role is there, which is good to know. In this case, we don't know who exactly is hiring for the role, but that's okay. We'll get to it later, right? At this point, all we care about is that Clio is hiring for the BDR role. That's it. Now, from this point is the second step. How do you reach out before them? But before I get started, one thing I want to share with you is that as you're researching different companies, one good thing you could want to do is also use something called Glassdoor to do a review. How do you know Clio is a good company or not? How do you know? Well, how do you buy? How do you usually do reviews before buying something on Amazon? Same thing with a company. You want to make sure you invest your time in a company that has good reviews. So come into here, Glassdoor, click on Clio, and this is going to give you a review of the company. It's going to tell you the reviews, the jobs you offer, the salaries. This is the overall view of the company, how many employees, the culture, Clio culture here. So you can talk about the culture, things that they're important to them. So you can kind of see, am I fit for this company, right? And look at their values. Anything going on, any updates for the company. There's a lot of things you can use for outreach, for conversation. Reviews of the company. Also come in here and see what people are saying about the company. So I find it's a good way to look at, things, because a lot of times what's going to happen, this is important to do the reviews, right? My computer's a little slow. There we go. CEO, Jack's there. And a good reason why you want to read this, because what's going to happen is when you apply for the job and you follow the system, you get the interview, they're going to ask you, why do you want to work at Clio? Or why do you want to work at Amazon? Why do you want to work at whatever company that you applied for? You can say to them, right? Really, honestly, listen, I went on Glassdoor. I saw the reviews. It shows you have a really good culture. It shows that you're still operates with a side startup hustle culture. Great customer support, whatever resonates, meaningful work, smart people, real growth opportunities. Say that in the interview. It's amazing because you're being authentic, you're being real, and most people won't say that. Most people won't do that detail of research, but you will because you're watching this video. Awesome. That's what you're going to do. So now that we've been able to have a way to find the jobs, who's hiring, get some reviews, the next step in the job search is reaching out to hiring managers. I'll repeat again, we're not going to apply to the jobs online. We're not going to be like 99% of all the other sales people job for jobs. They're going to hit apply here, or even worse, hit quick apply. We're not going to do that. We're not applying for the jobs online at all. We're going to go and use what I call my PVV method: phone, voice notes, and video messages. That's it. So now that you know that Clio is hiring, you're going to use the phone, a LinkedIn voice note, or the video DM to stand out to the hiring manager. Now, like I said, download the workbook, the free workbook below. It gives you all the scripts and cadences how to best reach out to people and the messages you might need to say to stand out and really catch their attention. The important thing is also being persistent. I'll go deeper and show you an example of how I got hired and the actual conversation I had. But for now, I want to just focus and tell you the importance that you're going to reach out to the hiring manager, but not just say one message. You're going to follow up using different cadences: phone, video, voice note, and video DMs. And the workbook below, it shows you exactly how to do it. But the key is standing out. Typically, you want to be able to do at least 12 touches on that person. You might be thinking, Ian, you crazy? 12 touches? This is important. I'll tell you why. You're applying for a sales job. And all you do, you're going to do the job. You're going to get the job by showing you can do the job. Because I guarantee you, when you get hired as a BDR, SDR, AE, you're going to have to do some outbound reach. You're going to have some hunting, some prospecting. What better way to get the job you want to get as a salesperson by doing the job? You're going to blow the hiring manager's mind, thinking like, this person's amazing. She's voice me, calling me, cold calling me. She's video DMs, because 99.9% of the other people applying will never do that. You'll stand out because you'll show the person, I can do the job by doing the job. I'll get the job by doing the job. You're going to stand out. Anyways, so basically, when you're applying, who do you apply for? You're thinking, Ian, who do I apply for? Who do I apply to? Now, if you're applying for a BDR or SDR job, the person you reach out to at the company you're applying for is a director of business development or a sales manager of business development. Those are two people you want to reach out to. Now, if you're applying for any job, this is in tech sales, you want to apply to the VP of sales, director of sales, or the sales manager. Those people you need to reach out to. So the LinkedIn part, so you're going to come in here, for example, and give an example. And you're going to say, okay, Clio is hiring. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, Clio's hiring. So I'm going to go in here and say, I'll go Clio sales hiring. There we go. And it says Ian De Silva, sales manager, Clio, hiring. This is good. What you're going to do is going to click on this, hit connect, and send him a blank connection request. No notes, just hit blank. No, not just boom, that's it. Second thing to do is you're going to come in, once you get Ian, Ian's hiring, you're going to come into a software called Apollo. Apollo is free, just download it. It's free for a certain amount of credits. Come in here and you type in Ian De Silva. Oh, I think it came up already. Ian Clio, where is it? There it is. Ian De Silva at Clio. So now we're going to click on that. And Apollo, through database, allows you to get people's phone numbers. We see here, Ian De Silva, the same person that's hiring right here. I have his phone number. So what you're going to do is we're going to call Ian. And you're going to call him. And you have a script. I'll give you the script. It's in the workbook below. But the script's going to basically say something along the lines of like, hey, Ian, chances are I might go to voicemail. Even better. We're going to say, hey, Ian, I won't go into it, but say something along the lines of like, hey, Ian, saw that Clio was hiring. I sent you a connection request on LinkedIn. Go into your value prop and with a call to action, voice note. That's one touch. So that's it. So you're reaching out to Ian or the hiring managers, and you're using the PVV method, using phone, voice notes, and video DMs to stand out. Now, after that, we need to now take that outreach and generate conversations that leads to an interview, which is part number 3. You have to get the interview. Turn conversations into interviews. So the point of this outreach is when you're calling a person, doing video DMs, voice DMs, is to position yourself as someone who solves problems. You're a problem solver. You're a person who adds value. Like I said, 90% of people that cold call, that apply for jobs, they're about me. They're very selfish. I want a job. I need to make money. I need a job. Me. And the thing, what they're saying, it's a take. They're applying, and their messaging and their value is, and their positioning is as take. I want a job. I want money. Yeah, flip around. You have to be a give. It's a give. Be non-self-serving. That means that I'm here to add value, solve your problems, improve your team's culture. These are kind of words where you're just adding value. And I'll give you an example of how it works. So here's the exact play-by-play of how I got my last job in 24 days in tech sales. So it was a BDR role that I saw they were hiring. So I reached out to the BDR manager and I sent him a blank connection request. He accepted the connection request, and I'll walk you through what happened next. February the 5th, I just call him Mark. Hi, Mark. Thanks for connecting. I wanted to reach out to see if you're currently looking to add a results-driven BDR to your team. With 5+ years of SaaS sales, I'm constantly ranked in the top performers, develop sales training programs to help my reps improve the prospecting and closing skills. I'd like to explore how I can add value to your team. Would you open to a quick call? Mark got back to me. Hey, Ian, thanks for reaching out. Happy to chat. You have time tomorrow? Mark, yes, I have time tomorrow. Feel free to book in my calendar. Send him a free calendar link. He booked in with me. Hey, Ian, apologies. Today is super busy. I'll book some time for Monday. No worries. Good morning, Mark. I noticed that you moved our call to tomorrow at 10 a.m. Unfortunately, my time Tuesday is not free. I'm available Wednesday or Thursday. We rebooked it. Boom. Got on a call, had a conversation. After the conversation, hey, Mark, great chatting with you. That's super cool that you played professional soccer in Europe. He did. So I referenced something, which is key. Reference in the follow-up, reference something that they mentioned in the interview. It means you're listening, paying attention. By the way, I didn't apply for the job yet. And I was clear. I told the boy, I go, listen, I don't apply for jobs because I told him, man, I'll be in the shuffle there. I'll get lost in the shuffle if I apply. And we both laugh. He goes, listen, Ian, I got you, man. He goes, I want you to do this, Ian. Apply for the job online for HR purposes. Once you apply, tell me. So I'll tell the HR person to look for you in the pile of the 250 people in the resumes. So by the way, I sent my application for the BDR role. I look at the website. Ian, Nice meeting you today. Sounds good. I'll tell Susan, the HR person, and she'll go through the file. Boom. 12 days later, I got the job offer. So there's areas where I now know this can be better, which I'm sharing with you, is that this first note, I will not make it a text message. I'll use a video voice note. Same thing, just video voice note. Boom. Hey, Mark, thanks for connecting with you. And in the workbook, I'll talk to you more about how to create a voice note and the power of voice notes and how it stands out than just that text. But it still works the way I did it. Anyways, so we've done that. Now that we have got the job, we've got the job interview. Now is how to get the job offer. That's the most important thing. How to get the job offer. So this is the whole important thing. Winning the job offer. So typically, the pull this a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's better. So this is a job offer. Typically, most sales job processes, you have about three interviews. One is with HR, then it filters you out if you're a good culture fit, and two with a hiring manager and a director. And usually, there's some sense of role play, or if it's an AE role, like kind of executive, you can do a role play. You can do a role play of a discovery call where a customer comes on, asks them some questions. That's it. They want to see how well you do discovery. That's important work for for AEs. For BDR role, they have to do one or two things: either a mock call, a cold call, or they want you to write a cold email on the spot. They want to see how well you can write, how well you can do your writing skills, how you can do cold calling. And with cold calling, it's all about overcoming objections. Once again, in the workbook below, I'll give you a script for your cold callings and some simple rebuttals to overcome with objections for the role play. The main thing to remember is that during the interview, the one thing they're looking for is your enthusiasm for the job and the company. Like I said, they're going to ask you, why do you want to work here? You did research. Remember, you went to Glassdoor over here and you did some research. So you can use that exactly within the conversation. Another thing to remember is that when you might be thinking, Ian, this is all great, but I don't have experience in sales. That's okay. What they're looking for is attitude. They can teach you sales skills. What they can't teach you is a good attitude. They want to know, do you have grit? Are you positive? Are you coachable? They might ask you questions. Do you have self-awareness of yourself? One question they ask a lot is, tell me a situation where you maybe had a plan and it failed or it didn't work out the way you wanted it to be. The reason why they ask this question is because they want to make sure this person had the self-awareness to be able to say, like, boom, this didn't work out. What can I learn from it so that I can do better next time? Because in sales, there's lots of failing. When I say failing, there's lots of rejection, lots of things not working well. But do you have the self-awareness to be able to say, okay, this month, this worked. This month, this didn't work. Okay, what can I learn here? Do double down on what worked, stop doing what didn't work, and then strategize to get better. It's so important. Also, when you're doing the job interviews, the key thing is able to ask smart questions. You must go into the final job interviews with questions printed out. Use a piece of paper. They're going to ask you, do you have any questions at the end of the interview? And when you say no, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. But if you say, yeah, I have a few questions right here. So they have questions. When you go on an interview, they have questions. They have their screen. And let me pull up my questions. And bang, 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 bang. They're grilling you. Do the same thing. Pull up your screen. I got 5 questions. Bang, 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 bang. And you grill them respectfully. But you're showing them that I've researched. I do my due diligence. I'm making sure, is this a great place for me to work? And one of the great two questions that I will share with you, that if you ask these questions, you will blow the hiring manager's mind. It's like a whiplash. They'll be like, whoa, who is this person? 2 questions, right? There's more in the workbook, but I'll give it to you here. You go through the interview, and it comes down to, okay, I've asked my questions. The hiring manager will say, what questions do you have for me? You say, yeah, I have a couple. You go for a little water break. I'm getting so excited here. I'm getting thirsty. The hiring manager is going to say, any questions? Like, yeah, I do. First question, Susan, is that, let's assume that, I get the job offer and I'm working at your company. And after 6 months, what would I have to do at this role, well, after 6 months of being hired, that'll make you say, you know what? Ian was a great hire. Be quiet. And they're going to tell you what it is. And you're going to be the paper, as they're talking, write it down. I've heard things they say like, yeah, stay hungry, be coachable, hit your quota, keep learning, align with the company values, whatever it is, write it down. Keep the notes because you're going to use it when you get hired. The second question I'm going to ask you, the last question, and this is going to blow their minds. You're going to say, yeah, I have one last question. Do you have any reservations about me for this role? And they'll be like, oh, reservations. They're saying, is there anything you doubt you have? Any reservations about me hiring for this role? And they'll be like this. Some might say, yeah, I think because, you lack experience in sales, or it could be this, could be that, whatever it is. Let them say their speech. I'm like, cool. And then, like in sales, it's an objection. Overcome that objection. You might say, yeah, I understand that you might think don't have experience in sales, which is true, but then bring some value. But I worked as a volunteer for 4 months or a year, and through that role, I was able to show some value of grinding or gritting or some work ethic you showed to overcome situations. Just sell yourself. You have to sell yourself. And then you're going to. This is the thing that's going to blow them away. You're going to bring in and create a 30, 60, 90-day plan of success for the sales role. Once again, in the workbook below, I'll give you more details, but I'll just give you some high-level overview of what it is. Basically, it's a plan, a strategy that in 30, 60, 90 days, what you're going to do in the role when you get hired to be successful. First 30 days, I'm doing this. Next 60 days, this. And the 90 days, do this. And when you're part of the end of the interview, you're going to present that to the hiring manager. You're going to say, hey, listen, you mind if I share my screen? If it's a Zoom call. If it's in person, print it out, show it to them. Bring 2 copies, show it to them. And show them that I have a plan in place to be successful in this role. Their minds will blow. Because I guarantee you, if 250 people apply for that job, only one person will bring in a 30, 60, 90-day plan. That's going to be you.